journals, which has in number 9 count. Sir is a referee of professional journals. Sir is also associated with professional bodies like member, president, and secretary of various associations, as like Assam University, Bangalore University, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad, Central University, Gujarat, Karnataka University, Delhi School of Social Work, Gulbarga University, Manipal University, राष्ट्रसंत तुकडोजी महाराज नागपूर युनिव्हर्सिटी, शिवाजी युनिव्हर्सिटी कोल्हापूर, टाटा इन्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ सोशल सायन्सेस, तिलक महाराष्ट्र युनिव्हर्सिटी पुणे, and YCUME. Now I request to Dr. Lavani sir to please deliver his lecture.
Okay. A very good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Can you hear me now? Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. This is a very nice opportunity for all of us to have a webinar on research methodology. I am very much thankful to Sri Saraswati College of Wasim. I have visited your college long back, around 10 years back I visited your college. It was in the initial stage and I was on official tour as a task force member from Delhi Central Social Welfare Board. And I thought I should visit my social work college. I casually visited that college and it is nice to see your college and other activities. Dr. Sindhe sir, the principal, has taken initiative to organize a webinar on research methodology. And I'm also thankful to my other colleagues of Wasim College, those faculty members and the coordinators, and Varsha madam who is coordinating this webinar. Technically, this is more important. Without her, we cannot do anything. And library and information science is more important for the colleges today. And they are well versed with the technology also. Not taking much of the time, let us come to our topic. Already 2-3 days have passed. You have been conducting different sessions. And let me congratulate you, Dr. Sandeep, for inviting very good resource persons. All are, they are very much experienced and they are at national and international level, their contribution is there. Because getting good persons for the lecture is a tedious job today also. Therefore, you made a lot of spade work, contacting them and follow up and other things. And therefore, it is quite successful for you. I welcome all those participants of this webinar. They have shown their interest. Some of my friends also, they have shown my interest. My students also shown me the interest. I have sent them link also recently just now. And I hope they have joined it. Madam, shall I look into my slides?
Okay, sir, I am sharing it.
Otherwise, time is very perfect and I cannot go out of the slides.
Sir, can you see it?
Yeah. Now I can.
Okay.
And
now the control is in your hand.
Where should I click, madam? Can you help me to this? Okay. Next, if I go right, I got it now.
Yes.
Arrow keys वापर करा up and down. Arrow keys.
Arrow
key is not visible here. This one.
Keyboard.
This is share screen. It is here. No, just a minute.
Okay.
No.
Arrow keys up and down करा तुम्ही. तो होऊन जातो सर. Numeric कीच्या बाजूला. Arrow keys आहे.
My screen is now full. Therefore.
पण मॅडम जाऊ दे तुम्ही करा.
Okay, sir.
तुम्ही त्यांना शेअरिंग केलं ना?
Sir, you just say me when to change the slide. I will do.
Yeah, that would be better. I will be comfortable also. Okay. Come to the first slide now.
Is this okay?
Okay. Huh?
Okay.
I think that all of you already must have understood the very meaning of research, social research, and other things. Just as an introductory remark, I have added 2 to 3 sentences here. My topic allotted to me is that recent trends in social research and its methodology. There have been a lot of changes, and these changes are according to the changing situation of the education system, of the society's requirement, and other things also. So research simply means searching for what which already exists. Means if you look into the research of natural sciences, social sciences, management sciences, all these days, whatever we have seen, that is nothing new as such. Something there is existing in the universe. You are not creating. Researcher is not a creator. He is an investigator. He would like to find the truth. Socrates, for that matter, throughout the life, he all the life dedicated to find the truth and make the people aware that truth is ultimate. So therefore, it is an act in pursuit of truth. A simplistic understanding of research would mean searching for that already exists, which is existing there. Research means searching again. When we come to the research methodology, we not only consider the research method, but also the logic behind the methods. We use in the context of our research study and explain why we are using a particular method or technique. When you please go back, particularly the senior most teachers, if somebody are there looking at this presentation, go back and our senior teachers research, our super seniors research, almost all a sort of survey type research. And statistical presentation, they were all the while playing with the figures. Statistics says, therefore, we'll have to agree whatever statistics says. Even in the corona, the COVID-19, people are telling that, so the linear regression, the very curve that will go to the top and that will come down. And that the top will go after the month of June, July, and then meanwhile, a lot of people will be suffering, and then slowly it will come down. This statistics says. Recently, you must have understood, you must have gone through that. There were some studies conducted by the foreign universities, and they made a statement that by the end of May, COVID will be stopped totally in India. By the first week of May in America, it will be coming down. And those were all based on the statistical figures, but it has not happened. I am telling these two examples because it is not always the statistical figure that matters. It is the real situation that matters. That is how today what we are doing, from survey type research to the other various methodology, we are entering into it. Madam, next slide, please. What is this? You know that the subject recent trends in research methodology is probably a call to all scholars and students to familiarize themselves with the latest trends and tools associated with research. So it means that what we are going to learn here through this session, that what are the tools that we are using, what are the changing tools, and what are the methods we are going to use, what are the changing methods we are using in the research. In the changing methods, from quantitative to qualitative, we have ethnography method, we have participatory research method, we have action research method. There are large number of research methods today we are practicing it. So we are going to see one by one how we are going to change here. And as far as the tools are concerned, tools are the means for conducting the research, but they are not everything as such. You know, earlier for data processing, When I was a student and doing research project report, my teachers used to say, use a big graph sheet. And my graph sheet was there almost 10 by 10, one room was there. So the graph sheets were pasted and I was sitting on the graph sheet itself and entering the data. And I told my teacher that, sir, shall we go some other method? He said, right now it is only method, you go for that. So today, it is not like that. We have SPSS method. We have Excel, we are using it, wherein you need not go through the graph sheets and need not go for the manual methods. So through this, what I wanted to communicate to all the participants and listeners, that changing trends means two trends we are going to find here. The trend in the change of using the methodology, and secondly, the trend that is there used as the tools. Next. Before we touch the main topic, just I wanted to brush the memories. Already you have these things with you. Research methods, exploratory research. What is this? It is helping to identify and define research problems. Normally, most of the students, especially postgraduate students and all, they go for the exploratory research. Many times people ask me, sir, so should we use the hypothesis for the exploratory? Should we go for the review of literature? Should we go for whether the findings of the exploratory research are going to be generalized and quite applicable? Many questions are asked by the students and other researchers. That will be a different topic to discuss later on. So largely, most of the students, especially postgraduate students and MPhil students, they use the exploratory research. Where nothing is known to you, then you go to identify something, to find something, and then you come with a certain hypothesis. You find a scope for the further research, and then this our exploratory research will be most useful for the further research. Then constructive research. This is testing theories and proposing solutions. There are already certain theories existing, and those theories we wanted to test it, whether the theory is quite applicable and appropriate, and if not, we want to suggest modify the theories. Then third one is empirical research. This is testing the feasibility of solution using real world data. Here, particularly today, there is one method which is getting very popularity, Kurt Levin's action research. Kurt Levin's action research addresses the problems of the institutions. It was designed particularly wherein a large number of organizations are failing to function effectively and having a lot of problems. And in order to resolve those problems, the research method called action research method is implemented. So this is how these three research methods, exploratory research, constructive research, and empirical research. Within this, we find again many more methods. If you ask me, you may raise a question, are these only broadly these three? So within this, there are again 20 to 25 sub-research methods. Today we are having a list of it. Next. Then two major types of empirical social research design. One is qualitative, second is quantitative. Quantitative, as I told you, it is all a sort of survey method. It is the statistics that plays significance here. We prepare the tools for data collection. Most of these tools of data collection, they are having the close-ended questions in the qualitative research. There is no much scope for the subject, I mean the respondent, to say his own views. to express his own views. Therefore, quantitative research has this limitation. We have multiple choice answers and the respondent is bound to answer within those 4 to 5 options. Sometimes we add that other, but other rarely counted as far as results are prepared, or else other option rarely it is used by the respondent. They will say other, no, let us leave it, will go ahead again. Therefore, quantitative research is one of the popular way of conducting the research, and qualitative research is meant for the understanding the human behavior. Human behavior studies are more found in the behavioral sciences. Say, for example, psychology is there. In the psychology, qualitative research design is very popular. Today, we are using this in the education. In the education field, qualitative research is popularly used. And not only that, today in social work, in the community empowerment, women empowerment, community development, rural development, and in such other areas of research, we are using the qualitative research. So, in what way it differs? It differs that in the qualitative research, we put the question open to the respondent, open to the subject, and subject, I mean the respondent, will give thought to his mind or her mind, he or she will answer accordingly. Therefore, here the respondent is having a lot of opportunities to say it. This is not much useful to the respondent, rather it is most useful to the researcher, because researcher want to know one answer from the respondent, but at the same time he will get multiple answers. You want to get one information, you will get a lot of information from the respondents. That information will be very much useful for our research. That is how today a large number of people are going to go for the qualitative research rather than the quantitative research. And then you may ask me that which is better? No, it is not like that which is better, which is superior, which is inferior. No, both are important. Both are useful. It is the need of the study. What exactly you need? There are certain studies, for example, today, as far as the changing tools of research is concerned, we are going to conduct studies, online studies today. In the online studies, because of the time constraint, we go for the close-ended questions. If you go for the open-ended questions, it is a time-consuming, and the researcher, I mean the respondents may not be much interested in it, or they may not be capable to feed the information which we require there. Therefore, it is not the question whether quantitative research is useful or qualitative research is useful. Whether quantitative is superior or qualitative superior. Both are important, and it is the situation, it is the need of the study, it is the objectives of the study, it is the objective of the researcher, what exactly he wanted to know, to what depth the information he wanted to dig. Based on that, this is going to be applied. Next one. Then this is I have some around 12 to 13 items here. We are going to discuss it. Emerging shifts in social research priorities. I am using the term here priorities because they are not the ultimatum as such. The first one already we have discussed, that quantitative research versus qualitative research. So during the olden days, most of the time we used exhaustively the quantitative research, and today we are shifting to the qualitative research. There are many questions raised, and there are many difficulties with the researchers also, because many a time what happens, sir, the qualitative collection of the qualitative data is more time consuming and more costly also, because the researcher, I mean, the field worker, the investigator will have to go to the field and spend a lot of time and stay with them. Therefore, data collection duration is little larger. So in this context, what is expected that you will have to think, if it is quantitative research is quite useful and quite sufficient for your proposed study, you can go for that. And secondly, the second problem with the qualitative research is that quantification of the data that is gathered through the qualitative research. There are today methods coming, that quantifying the qualitative data, etc. We can go that. It's not a big issue, but some tedious work has to be done. Secondly, the second priority of the researchers today is that increasing recognition or value attached to research for knowledge advancement and policy making. Around 20 years back, I had submitted a research proposal to UGC. What was my proposal? That I had written that I would, my research was that, my proposal was that study of the utility value of the PhD thesis submitted in social work to different universities. And I had given a specific time, 10 years time. And I got a letter from the UGC that once the thesis is evaluated, you cannot go for the re-evaluation because it is a technical matter. Therefore, your proposal is not considered. Many a time, I request all of you just go back and see the thesis which you have produced. How much utilization we have made it. Once we get the PhD, once we get the MPhil, once we get the post-graduation degree, after that, all our theses are so binded in a beautiful way and put it in our service. I was talking to one of my friend, 10 years back. His PhD was in rural development and the education status of the tribal children. And I requested him, sir, will you please share your thesis for a while and or else major findings? I wanted to just refer for my understanding of this. He said, no, sir, it is very much confidential. I cannot share it. It's a PhD thesis. I said, sir, already it is something wrong with it. Madam, slides are not seen there. Please look into it. So my friend said that, sir, this is a confidential. I cannot share my findings of the study. I said, sir, already thesis is awarded. What is that? So there are people like that. They want to keep it themselves. They wanted to keep it themselves. They don't want to share it. Therefore, today, what we are going to do, what is the changing trend today as far as research is concerned? Most of the researchers, they want to use their research finding for the policy making. They want to use their research finding for the intervention. They want to use their research findings for making available to the others. This is really a very positive change because nothing is wrong there. If there are certain mistakes in our research, because the research is ongoing, I always tell my PhD students, when we award them degree, it is not that is final. It is that we are giving a driving license to them. Now you are eligible to drive it. After that, whether you are continuously doing the research or not, it is up to you. People say, once I do the PhD, I have finished my research work. No, it is just a beginning. Therefore, it's a good sign that people, the research scholars are thinking at the beginning of this research only. So what would be the significance of the study? How it would be more useful for the policy making as such. And the third shift up, the third priority that the researchers today are looking at that, moving from basic research to applied or empirical research. So as I told you that action research is there, come back. As I told you, the action research is there. The action research is particularly to look into the problems of the organization, problems of the system, and to resolve those problems. Today, it is not only action research, it is a participatory action research. It is not only participatory action research, it is a participatory qualitative action research. These are the changes that are coming. Then the fifth priority, which is there, earlier what we used to do, one method only. Our teachers, the super senior teachers, used to say, use only one method. So only one research design, you can use it. You go for the qualitative research, or you go for the quantitative research, or you go for the only what is that, the exploratory study. Like that, they were very much reserved. But today, it is not like that. Today, our researchers are using a mixed method research design, qualitative plus quantitative, primary data plus secondary data. So it is like that. So, in our research design, most of the research design, we used to tell that sources of data, primary data, secondary data. 90% of data we used to use only primary data. Secondary data very rarely used. Even if we look at our PhD thesis or our seniors PhD thesis, review of literature used to be very small chapter, rather smallest chapter in our thesis. Today, it is the lengthiest chapter in the PhD thesis. It is because online, every review is available. You click it. For my PhD, I got ICSSR fellowship and I stayed 14 days in Tata Institute Library, and there was no facility of xeroxing. And if you get it xeroxed anything from the library material, you will have to give application to the librarian. Librarian used to get the permission from the concerned dean, and the xerox material was supplied to you. And therefore, I remember that I was referring Dr. Philomena D'Souza's PhD thesis and requested the librarian to give me xerox. No, PhD thesis cannot be given xerox. And I was to sit for a few days and note it down small things from the thesis. Today, you just click a button, click the mouse, and you will get large number of research reviews. Therefore, researchers, what they do, whether reviewed or not, whether they reviewed really or not, but they are adding a big list of review of literature in their PhD, thesis. Sometimes they say, some of the students send me their pre-pilot copy of the PhD thesis. Sir, please have a glance over it. And when I make a comment, there is not much review of literature and you have not worked on that. So then they say, sir, it can be done at the end of the study, and I will get the literature from the literature review from the computer, Google search, or Shodhganga somewhere, and I will add it. This is what is happening, that there is a plus and minus point of the technology. If you use for the proper good thing, then it's good, or sometimes it is copying and pasted like that. It is a very bad thing. Then the sixth one is phenomenon of big data. People, the researchers think our research should be very big. No, it's not a question of big or small. It is how scientifically you have done it. Taking the small sample also, if you select the sample scientifically, the findings will be more representative rather than the large data. Large data is time consuming. Large data is money consuming. Large data, in the large data, there is a wastage of data also. Therefore, today people say, so they want to go for the massive data. Massive data I'm not always in favor of it. We need that because today scientifically there are some rules and regulations. Morgan gives some table, the chart, how much sample should be selected for the number of population. So that you can use it, or some other researchers also given some target. Say if 1,000 population is there, how much your sample should be there. If there is a 10,000 population, how much sample should be there? It is all given there, and we should use it. So therefore, the phenomenon of a big data is one of the changing trend that is used by the researchers. One more thing, our researchers, particularly the MPhil and PhD students, they come. Recently I was reading one study, PhD thesis submitted by some university, and it was a study of bus conductors in one of the district. I don't want to tell the name because it's not good. A study of the women bus conductors in India with reference to that district. So when you are studying a particular district, why should you go for India? Nothing to do with India. Therefore, be specific. Your title should be very specific, and it should be limited to your geography. Your title should be self-explanatory. Geographically, it should explain, and content-wise scope also you should focus on. Next. Then seventh one. The seventh change is that the policy relevant research as opposed to abstract research, academic versus practice-based research. Means, as I told you just now in my previous slide, referring to my previous slide, that it is people today are thinking that instead of going for a research limited to the academic purpose, it should have a practice approach. Means, as I told you, the data should be, the findings should be utilized for the people on whom you are conducting the studies. Most of the medical studies, clinical studies, you know that, engineering studies, you know that, they are more utility oriented. They are practice based. But in social sciences, in the olden days, those theses, those studies were not much practice based. They were more academic oriented. Then the eighth priority that is followed by the today's researcher is that a shift to location, region, or sector specific to case studies. Today means instead of location, they are going for the case studies. So taking a single subject, taking a single institution, taking a single village community, and they are going to conduct study. Of course, it is better. But many times what happens in the case studies, it is said that the findings of the case studies may not be representative, and therefore it cannot be generalized. Sorry, मी पूर्ण इंग्लिश मध्येच बोलतो आहे. Is it okay for me, for the listeners?
सर थोडे हिंदी चालेल.
हा, कारण का काही विद्यार्थी, तुम्ही मला आठवतं, आता माझ्या लक्षात आले की
यस सर, काही स्टुडंट आहेत.
हा हा हा,
इसलिए थोड़ा हिंदी,
कारण हे टेक्निकल टर्म थोडंसं अवघड होईल मला, बट Marathi is also okay, no problem. I normally speak in Marathi in the class also. पण याच्यामध्ये थोडंसं कुठंतरी मला अडचण होईल. काही विद्यार्थ्यांचे म्हणणे असं आहे की ते केस स्टडीज आपण घ्यावा, आणि केस स्टडी म्हणजे एखादा छोटासा आपण कम्युनिटी घ्यायचं, एखादा छोटासा इन्स्टिट्यूशन घ्यायचं, किंवा एखाद्या व्यक्तीवर आपण अभ्यास करायचा आणि त्याच्या फाइंडिंग्स आपण लोकांपर्यंत कळवायचं. पण केस स्टडी मध्ये होतो काय, आपलं जे फाइंडिंग्स आहे एवढं जनरलाइज करता येत नाही, आणि लोक म्हणतात की दे आर नॉट रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह. म्हणून सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक म्हणा, दी पर्टिक्युलर रिजन असं न करता थोडस ब्रॉडर वे आपण ते करतो, दॅट इज मच बेटर ऑलवेज. द नाइन्थ वन इज व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. जो नवा आहे, शिफ्ट टू शॉर्ट ड्युरेशन, 3 to 6 months इफ नॉट शॉर्टर. म्हणजे काय, म्हणजे असं आहे की तुम्ही जर पाहिलं असेल तर, मी एकदा टाटा इन्स्टिट्यूटला व्हिजिट दिलो. तिथे विजय कुमार म्हणून माझे एक मित्र आहे ऍक्च्युअली. तर विजय कुमार PhD इन रिसर्च HR मध्ये रिसर्च करत होता. आणि त्याला विचारलो, अरे तुझे कितवा वर्ष आहे? तो म्हणला हा 8वा वर्ष आहे माझे PhD. आणि सबमिट कधी होणार? होईल 1-2 वर्षात. म्हणजे दिस इज हाऊ 8 to 10 years रिसर्च PhD मध्ये तुम्ही कराल. तुमचे करिअर काय, तुमचे पुढचं एज काय, आणि हे सगळं PhD साठी एवढं ड्युरेशन नकोच आहे. म्हणून लोक आता हुशार झालेले आहे. पीपल आर व्हेरी स्मार्ट इनफ. दे वॉन्ट टू गो फॉर अ शॉर्ट ड्युरेशन ऑफ स्टडीज. छोटा छोटा मॅटर घ्यायचा आणि संपवून टाकायचं आहे. आणि आता इवन तुम्ही जर पाहाल the proposals granted by the various funding organizations. So for example ICSSR आहे आणि मिनिस्ट्रीज आहे. आता रिसेंटली मी एक थोडासा विषयांतर होत नाही असा विचार करून मी बोलतो. आता रिसेंटली महाराष्ट्राच्या महिला आयोगाने एक जाहिरात दिले होते. रिसर्च प्रपोजल्स आर इन्व्हायटेड फ्रॉम द रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स. ओके. आणि दॅट स्टडी वॉज इट वॉज फॉर 18 months समथिंग. ठीक आहे, ड्युरेशन इज ओके. पण त्यांनी तिथला जो चीफ इन्व्हेस्टिगेटर आहे त्यांचा पगार किंवा तिथला फील्ड वर्क असेल त्यांचा पगार नॉट मोर देन 10,000. जे 10,000 रुपये तुम्ही फील्ड वर्करला दिलात आणि 18 महिने तो 10,000 घेऊन फील्ड मध्ये जाऊन काम करणार, मग तो डेटा कसा गोळा करणार आहे? आम्ही नंतर काय केलं, तेव्हा मी ऍक्च्युअली टाटा इन्स्टिट्यूटचं तुळजापूरमध्ये लेक्चर देत होतो. त्या लेक्चर देत PGचं सेकंड इयरचं MSWचं सेकंड इयर रुरल डेव्हलपमेंट विद्यार्थ्यांना लेक्चर देत होतो. त्या लेक्चर हॉलमध्ये माझे हे कन्सर्न त्यांच्याशी चर्चा केलो. त्या विद्यार्थ्यांना सांगितलो त्या वेबसाईटवर जाऊन थोडं तुम्ही कमेंट करा आणि त्यांना ईमेल पाठवून द्या. तुम्ही जे हे पैसे तुम्ही हे केलेलं आहे, the money which you have kept for the salaries of the data collector, investigators, principal investigator, हे खूपच कमी आहे म्हणून तुम्ही मेल टाका. आणि मुलं काय फास्ट आहेत, ते टाटा इन्स्टिट्यूटचं मुलं लगेच एक मेल टाकून दिले. त्यानंतर 1-2 महिन्याने त्यांचे रिवाइज्ड प्रपोजल आले. पण रिवाइज्ड प्रपोजल मध्ये फारसं काय बदल नव्हतं. एक 4-5 हजारचं त्यांनी वाढ केली होती. मला काय म्हणायचं आहे ऍक्च्युअली, this may not be directly related to this my point number 9 which I am telling about the duration of the study. पण जेव्हा आपण एखादा स्टडी घेतो, एखादा प्रोजेक्ट घेतो, ते प्रोजेक्ट शक्यतो छोटा असेल तर खूपच चांगला आहे. म्हणजे 4 वर्षाचा आधी तुम्ही बघा मेजर रिसर्च स्टडीज बाय द UGC 6 वर्ष असायचं, 8 वर्ष असायचं, मग नंतर कमी केले 4 वर्ष, आता मिनिमम 2 वर्ष पण तुम्हाला करता येते. महिना रिसर्च असेल तर तुमच्या अगदी 18 महिने 1 वर्षाचा पण तुम्ही ड्युरेशन घेऊ शकता. म्हणून आता ड्युरेशन छोटा कमी होत आहे. आणि ड्युरेशन कमी झालं की डेप्थ कमी होते असं नाही. इट इज डिपेंड अपॉन द साइज ऑफ युअर युनिवर्स ऑफ द स्टडी, द साइज ऑफ द जिओग्राफी अँड द टाइम दॅट इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द डेटा कलेक्शन. हे सगळं तुम्ही एकंदरीत गणित करून देन यू विल हॅव टू थिंक अँड डिसाइड द ड्युरेशन ऑफ द रिसर्च. The next point, the priority of the researcher is that sorry, there is an increased interdisciplinary research approach आहे. मग आता फॉर एक्झाम्पल आता आम्ही अनेक ठिकाणी काही लोकांचा आम्हाला रिक्वेस्ट येतात, प्रपोजल्स येतात, सर आपण कम्युनिटी मेडिसिनचा अभ्यास करायचा आहे. मग सोशल वर्क आणि कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मेडिकल कॉलेज आपण करायचं एकत्र. मग आपण विचार करतो, एकत्र बसतो, चर्चा करतो आणि रिसर्च डिझाईन डेव्हलप करतो, आपण इम्प्लिमेंटेशन करतो. म्हणून आता सो सिंगल सब्जेक्ट किंवा सिंगल डिसिप्लिन इंडिपेंडेंटली आयसोलेटेड होऊन सो स्टडी करण्याच्या ऐवजी त्यांनी काय करतात, आता दे आर गोइंग फॉर द इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी रिसर्च. सो आय मीन टू से दॅट टुडेज रिसर्च स्टडीज आर मोर having inclination towards the interdisciplinary approach. Maybe sociology and economics, political science and economics, economics and social work, or not only within the social sciences, out of social sciences also, health sciences and social sciences can come together and they can design a study. Then research professionalization. आता याच्यात काय झालेलं आहे, what is happening here that private sector involvement. Private sector involvement इथं आहे. Sorry. There are research consultants, data collection, compilation, NASDAQ. म्हणजे once upon a time, just to have a look at it, this slide, research professionalization, private sector involvement, that is research, consultants, data collection, compilation, and not only just data analysis. Earlier, doing a research means conducting a study by only one person. A principal investigator, he himself used to do everything. He will prepare the research proposal and he will prepare the tools of data collection and he will go for the data collection. He will process the data. He will write the report. Everything will be done by one person. Today, consultancies are coming. For everything, there is a consultancy. You want to get designed your tools of data collection. So you tell the agency and you give your objectives. They will design the tool for data collection and you can test it in your field and you can use it. Whether it is wrong, right, that I am not going to tell in this session. That will be another discussion wherein another platform will discuss it. So you want a tools of data collection, you can get it done by others. You can go for the, you want to get the data processed. Usually earlier also, consultancy from the statistician were used to be taken. That was largely popularly used service by the previous researchers. But today, everything is got it done by the researcher, by the outsiders. Then what is your research? What you are going to do? This is a question from my side. Means, sorry to say, आपला अनुभव येतो. आता अनेक agencies, there are many agencies, private consultants, official consultants, or there are many individuals who will prepare your research proposal. Even for PhD students, it has come to our notice. It has come to the notice of many research guides and universities that, so if a research student, PhD student, want a research proposal, he will contact a person, he or she will prepare the proposal and give it. And the charges are made. Then you want a tools of data collection, that is made. Then you want data processing and data processing. Data collection, you pay to the other people, they will get the data collected for you. So in this way, today what is happening, this work is largely hired and hired job in research is very dangerous. At least data processing should not be given to the others. A principal investigator should go to the field. It is because through the data collection, you are getting practical experience. You have a time and opportunity to discuss with the respondents the subject in depth. You have an opportunity to observe the things. So for example, you are conducting a study. For example, conducting a study of the comfortability of the social work teachers at their department. त्या डिपार्टमेंटमध्ये काय काय सुविधा, काय काय फॅसिलिटी, काय काय टेक्नॉलॉजी आहे म्हणून तुम्ही त्यांना विचारणार आहे. तुम्ही तिथे गेलेच नाही, त्यांनी म्हटलं माझ्याकडे सगळंच आहे, इन माय युनिव्हर्सिटी एव्हरीथिंग इज प्रोव्हाइडेड. बट हॅव यू सीन दॅट? एखाद्या सॅनिटरी कंडिशनचं साठी तुम्ही यू आर गोइंग टू स्टडी द सॅनिटरी कंडिशन ऑफ द विलेजेस. And if you get the data collected, everything is there in the village. But if you go directly, if you observe, your observations are different. Therefore, what is my concern that? So data collection should be a job of the principal investigator. But in large studies, I know it is very difficult to, if not possible to go each and every segment of data collection area, each and every geographical area. Suppose you are studying around 100 villages, but at least a principal investigator has to go not less than 10 villages. so that out of which you will get the experience. Otherwise, he has not at all visited any village, any community, and he is writing about that community is really dangerous. This point again I wanted to highlight in a different way, that this hiring job or getting consultancy in a professional term, hiring will be more commercial. A consultancy, people say that. And if you want to get the consultancy for your research, right? In the corporate research, it's okay. There are corporate organizations that are conducting it. For example, today CSR projects are there. The CSR project, they wanted to get the studies done by the third parties, and they hire the third organization. They get it done. That's okay. But here, getting the research done by the others for the academicians is a threat to the research in the future. Then the next one is increased emphasis on quality of reports with beautiful graphics, printing, binding, and all other things. My slide थोड़ा सा ऊपर ले तो अच्छा हो जाएगा मैडम. वर्षा मैडम, the 13th point is also there. 13th. हाँ. Slowly, little. Anyhow, before that, I'm going to talk it here. These things, beautiful graphics, printing, binding, etc. Today's typing, binding, and the graphical presentation is very beautiful. But if you ask me the quality of discussion, 90% of the PhD thesis which have come to me, try to understand, nobody should ask the questions how you can say 90% of all the thesis. No, 90% of the thesis which have come to me, I have examined around 85 to 90 PhD thesis as on today. Out of that, 90% of the PhD thesis, they are average. They are of average quality. So they are just eligible to get through the PhD, and they will get the PhD qualification. They are not the excellent PhD thesis. And if this be the case, okay, if this be the case, so how you claim that the quality today is coming in the research? Emphasis should be there in a real way. That so it is not the thesis which you look at. It is the internal quality, the presentation, the discussion. Most of the PhD thesis, we say there is a table on the top side. Below that there is a graph. Age of the respondents. Age of the respondents. Graph is also there, and table is also there. See, my dear friends, graphical presentation or the presentation of data in a diagram is required when data is complicated and not easy to understandable to the reader. Yes, of the respondents very much easily understandable, and you are again adding one graph and adding also one figure diagram. What is the use of it? No. Where there is a need of understanding the complicated data or multivariable data, you are presented in a tabular form. Multivariable data you are presenting in a tabular form. This is normally difficult to understand for the reader sometimes. For that reason, what you should do, you should go for the multiple type of presentation. So you can go for the graphical presentation, you can go for the diagrams also, whatever possible you do it. Therefore, beautiful, earlier when I did my project report at the post-graduation level, if one word is a mistake in your typing, you'll have to change whole the page. Today it's not like that. So computer corrections are there. It is easy job doing. And printing is beautiful. Papers are beautiful. Color is beautifully used. And binding is beautifully done. All this I do not call it as a quality. It is only 1 or 2% of the total quality. I can say rest 95 to 98% of the quality of the thesis is decided on how your results are presented, how your report is done. Next slide. Madam, what is the time, may I know? Because many slides are there. Digital qualitative methods. Today we are digitally more comfortable. The field of digital methods for qualitative research is rapidly developing. More and more researchers are researching the social, cultural, political, anthropological, and other dimensions of computer-mediated communication, are using CMC as a means of generating and enlarging data. As I told you, today, digital data collection or conducting study through the online has become very popular. During the lockdown period, there were not less than 5 to 6 people sent me their interview schedule to fill it and send it. In 10 minutes, we used to fill it and send it back. So likewise, today we are very friendly with the digital media, and we are taking the use of the technologies. Say for example, online survey is there, text messages are there, interactive voice is there. So these are the things where we are using the digital qualitative method. Voice response system is there. This is all how we talk of the digital qualitative methods. Next one, madam. See, these are some of the methods in the digital qualitative methods. It's quite time consuming business to explain each and every unit. Online research methods, as I told you that this is most of the time the computer people, MCA department, BCA students, MCA students, and teachers in the computer department, they are quite familiar with the digital technology, and they go for the conducting study. But today what happened, because of their help and their canvassing, the methodology, etc., online research we are using it. Online communication we are using. That is online research methods, researching online communication, hypertext and hypermedia applications, multimedia and multimodality. So computer-aided qualitative data analysis is there. So even qualitative data, I am unable to tell the name of that spaces. Even my listeners can also, after the presentation, they can share their views that there is one software developed even for the analysis of the quality, like SPSS. SPSS is a software system for data processing of the quantitative data. For qualitative data, it's not collecting in my memory. I will tell you later on. So for that also, we have the software for analyzing the qualitative data. Data analysis in sound, vision, and multimedia. So technology is very much advanced, and therefore, so it has become very easy for conducting the research through the online. Data sharing and data collaboration. So many concepts are there. So many methodologies are coming as far as digital use of digital use in the conduct of the social research and other research also. Next one. Madam, next, digital research methods. Digitally mediated research methods means the use of online and other digital technologies, such as online, just I already told, it is a sort of repetition, such as online surveys, text messages, and interactive voice response system for research purposes. I don't want to repeat again. Please, next slide. Next slide, please, madam. Online interviews and focus groups. We will go for the next. There is one more slide which is related to this. Madam, go to next slide. Varsha, madam. Okay. No, come back or come back. Come back again. No, next one. Next one. This is okay. Hmm. No. Next.
Next.
Back side only. Back only. Previous. Previous one. Before. याच्या आधीच. No. थोडे पुढे जा ना. थोडे पुढे जा प्लीज पुढे जा. आणखीन पुढे. आणखीन पुढे. हा ठीक आहे. थोडा मागाल तर बरं. मॅडम वन मोर स्लाइड मागे आहे ना थोडासा. आधी तुम्ही ठेवले तर तो ठेवा. मी कॅन आय डू दॅट?
Complexity.
नाही अजून थोडं मागे आहे ना. डिजिट कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी थिअरी राईट. कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी थिअरी.
Is this okay, sir?
Okay. These such methods are even today not much popular in our particularly social field and social sciences, but it is popularly used. What is complexity theory? It is the study of complexity and of complex systems. It may also refer to 4 points. I'm explaining it. The complexity theory and organization, complexity economic system, and computational complexity theory. These 4 or 5 systems we are having it, and unfortunately these are not exposed to us, but for our understanding and for our sharing. Okay, understand? I'm just giving and sharing this slide for you. So this itself is it requires one lecture wherein the details of complexity theory can be explained. Next one. Next slide. What exactly does it deal? For example, complexity theory allows us to better understand the system as diverse as cells, human beings, forest ecosystems, organizations that are only partially understood by traditional scientific methods. So means a sort of complicated systems like forest system you wanted to study it, economic system you wanted to study it. There this complexity theory, is used. This is especially important in the study of organizations, organizational change. In HR, human resources, organizational behavior and organizational change is there. There also this complexity theory is used. And to study the leadership, etc., it has been used later. Next one. Next one. Then, as I told you, qualitative research practice. Please come back, madam. Previous. Qualitative research is difficult to define clearly. It is said that it has no theory or no paradigm that is distinctively its own. Nor does qualitative research have a distinct set of methods or practice that are entirely its own. Dengin and Lincoln, they are of the opinion that it has no method or practice that are entirely of its own. And then what is it? Qualitative research can be described as a set of interpretative material practices that makes the world visible. These practices transform the world. They turn the world into a series of representations. For example, field notes are there, interviews are there, conversations are there, photographs are there, recordings and memos are there, etc. These are the things which we use in the qualitative research practice. Next slide. Next slide. Here, one important thing we need to know, why qualitative? There are a few authors, they say that the qualitative research design feature is that it identifies study as qualitative, including a concern with what, why, and how questions rather than how many. What, why, and how rather than how many means here the statistical figure is not much important. Here, what is the fact? Why is that fact happening? How is that fact happening? What is an action? Why is that action? How is that action taken? This explanation is found through the qualitative research rather than how many. Means quantitative figure is not at all considered most of the situations in the qualitative research. So here, the observational method is there, semi-structured and in-depth interviews are there. So to me, in the qualitative research, observation is more important. People will be telling that. So our, again I come to the village sanitation system, the water distribution system. Understand? There people may say anything, but exactly what is the situation? As a researcher, I have the community in front of me, I can observe it and I can very much record it. Therefore, observation is the best way of understanding a community through the qualitative research. Of course, you may ask me, is it not possible in the quantitative? It is possible in the quantitative also. And therefore, there is a semi-structured and in-depth interviews. So your interviews are not fully structured, not close-ended. They are open-ended interview schedules are there, okay? And in-depth interviews are also conducted. And a focus group discussion is also identified with the qualitative research. Next one. Next, please. Digital based research, again, it is already explained, we have discussed it. What is the previous, madam, previous one? Sorry, no, design based research, DBR. So this is a very old method, but it is used recently. I think, if I have not mentioned here, I think after 1990, this method has got popularity, especially in the field of education. Especially in the field of education. The academicians, researchers in the education system, they have been applying this method. The purpose of this approach is to generate new theories and frameworks for conceptualizing learning, instruction, design process, and educational reform. To bring any education reform, to design any theories in the education. So for example, learning theory, learning by error is there. Okay, so you want to develop many more theories, then you should go for the design based research. Popularly, it is called as the DBR. Next one. Next, please. This design, what is exactly, no. Previous, Aditya. Design-based research is itself a sort of lens or set of analytical techniques that balance the positivist and interpretivist paradigms and attempts to bridge theory and practice in education. Means this method would like to bridge the gap between the theory and practice in the field of education. It's a sort of blend of empirical education research with the theory-driven design from learning environments. This DBR is an important methodology for understanding how, when, and why education innovations work in practice. This method aims to understand the relationship between educational theory and the practice. Next one. Next one, please. And all these changes, rather I cannot say the changes, it's a priorities I'm telling. Instead of changing research trends. So the use of the trends that are priorities today would be the appropriate way of telling it. Then here, developments in analytical tools and dimensions. There are SPSS today, MS Excel today, eViews are there. So correlation, regression, all that statistics for statistician also, computer has made easy their life. It is because earlier everything used to be manually computed. Today it is not like that. You can go for the use of the various SPSS, the softwares like SPSS are such similar softwares. Next one. So those all are the things which we have discussed about the various changes that are taking place in the field of social research. This is also very important. Ultimately, what matters? The change. It is the fund that matter the change in the research choice. If the funds are not available, so I don't want to go to the statistics. How much percentage of money is earmarked in the budget of Government of India for the research? It is alarming. Go to the other countries, how much they are spending, how much we are spending, that is a big question. So it is because of that, in the pure science, money is not much available. In the social sciences, funds are not available. Therefore, the intellectual cream of the graduates, the intellectual creams of the 10th pass outs and 12th pass outs, they go to the technical education because they will earn a lot there. Their material life will be more comfortable. The first top of the 10th students will go to medical. The first top of the 12th students will think of medical, then go to the engineering, then IITs and other things, they will think of it. If nothing is there, then come to the social sciences. This is the overall trend and tendency of the population. It is because neither the funds are available, nor salaries and other monetary gains are there in conducting the research. It is thinking in this way only. Recently, means almost 10 to 15 years back, the Government of India has brought one more institutions, IISER, Indian Institution of Science Education and Research. Indian Institute of Science Education and Research. This institution is at par with the IITs and IIMs. Lot of money is spent through this organization only for the purpose of encouraging the natural science research practice. Because government noticed that all the intellectuals, they are running to the medical and engineering, they are not coming to the pure science. And thinking in this way only, they have started 5 to 6 such large institutions of national importance across the country. Well, I am telling all this because what research you are going to take, it depends upon the money also, how much it is available. Today what happened, corporate sources are available. Azim Premji Foundation, Infosys is there. Most of the CSR projects today, corporate social responsibility industries. So CSR is a mandatory for the industry with certain conditions. And therefore, they are implementing various community development, social development, health, education, poverty elevation programs in the community through their 2% funds. And there is a compulsion that they should conduct research studies also to know and understand what is the impact of the implementation of their projects and programs. This is what happened, this is exactly you know, this is exactly the source that make the researchers to dilute from one field to other. Today, a large number of research persons, they are going to they are going to apply to the CSR, I mean organizations, CSR departments, getting the funds. And private foundations are also there today. So as I told you, Azim Premji Foundation, Infosys Foundation, Tata Foundation, these all foundations and such other foundations, you know that they are going to give the funds. See what happens, try to understand here why the funding can bring a change in the research trend. It is because each and every funding organization is having their own agenda. If you conduct research in your own area, they will not give funds to you. If you conduct the research of their top priority, then they will give the fund. Therefore, the corporate sources and private foundations, they are always having their own agenda. And then naturally what happens, so the researchers will, whether it is interested to them or not, whether they will think of doing the research in the field or not, but they want to conduct some research. They want some research projects, particularly the teachers and academicians. They want to undertake some research projects which will be a credit to them, which will help them to improve their biodata. Then, okay, whether it is a Azim Premji or it's a Infosys, doesn't matter. I get the money, no, that is sufficient. I will do the research. So accordingly, what is happening? So we are going, our research is changing according to the tunes of the funding organization. Sometimes this may be a threat to the society. It is because the business people, they are always calculative. Whatever money they are spending, they will spend with a hidden interest. And it is very difficult to know what is their hidden interest. Any corporate sources are there, private foundations are there, and government research councils are there. ICMR is there, ICSSR is there. So as I told you, the state women's councils are there. In addition to this, there are ministries, Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of HRD. A large number of funds are given through the Ministry of HRD for undertaking the research. Every ministry, irrespective of its name, you know, so every ministry is having its own funds, for the research. There also the researchers can apply, even our teachers, our young researchers can apply to these ministries and government councils. They can get the budget sanction. In Maharashtra today, most of you may be knowing, sorry, Maharashtra government has established one Sarathi organization. This organization is made for the conducting the research, right? And the head office is here in Pune only. And I'm sorry to say, they are not functioning in a proper way. The researchers are harassed like anything, and no proper directions are given. The government should look into this aspect and take some stringent actions also. This is not the platform to talk all those things. I think time we are getting, I mean, for discussion also time is required. Let us come to the further slide, 1 or 2 slides if they are there. Next, madam, Harsha madam. In a way, that is, I would like to conclude that it's an increasing emphasis on interdisciplinary collaborative research is there. Means what changes, what trends are there changing today. I'm just repeating that. So we are going for the interdisciplinary research. Second is collaborative research. So collaboration with different organizations. Today you must be observing that most of the universities, they are having collaboration with the foreign universities. Or say that my university will have a collaboration with the other university. Or one NGO will be having collaboration with the other NGO. Like this, collaborative research is coming, and technology-aided empirical research is coming. Relatively short duration of research in a big data era is coming, as well as quality and integrative research reports, among others, are having this, have attracted increased attention in contemporary social science research. All these dynamics should drive the experienced practitioners and the budding researchers to sustained production of more focused quality research for shared well-being, prosperity, and progress. This is all What about I wanted to have a presentation today. I hope I tried to uh, give justice to my topic. Of course, there are few things which I was rather uh, supposed to give more time for the explanation, but since time constraint is there, we cannot go into that. So, for example, grounded theory is there, qualitative method, in the qualitative method, grounded theory is there, and it needs a lot of discussion over this. So, like this, so all these concepts which we have cannot be explained in a short duration of such session. Once again, I thank Dr. Sandeep Shinde sir and other my fellow presenters who presented yesterday and before yesterday and who are going to present in future also. And I request all the further presenters, if there are any shortcomings in my presentation, they can take those points if they have time, and they can also make an effort to explain. I congratulate the Saraswati College for conducting such a beautiful webinar. And hope remaining 10 minutes, if they have any questions, we will have discuss those questions.
Yes, sir. This
Thank
will
you.
be open for the question and answer session now. Thank you very much, sir. You are really very good at presenting this PPT and recent trends in research methodology. This is one of the most important topic in research. Now I ask the participants to please ask the questions.
ಆಮೇಲೆ
Raise their hands.
ಯವ್ವ ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಂದು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ ಇವ್ರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಹೆಂಗು ದಮ್ಮಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇದು ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಸಾಕು ಬಿಡಿ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂಕತ ಹೋಗ. Hello.
Participants, please raise their hand. Lavanya, sir, please unmute. Kara.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, please ask.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear?
Good afternoon. Yeah. I do.
Okay, sir. Okay. मुझे ये पूछना था अगर
Yes, I listen.
ओके अगर अपना स्पेशलाइजेशन कम्युनिटी डेवलपमेंट है और आप जो रिसर्च टॉपिक ले रहे हैं वो अगर मेडिकल एंड साइकेट्री से रिलेटेड आ रहा है स्पेशलाइजेशन से, तो फिर ये चलता है कि आपने पहले बोला था आपके लेक्चर में कि मतलब इकोनॉमी और इससे कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं आप, तो चलेगा क्या?
Yes, very good question. See what happens. Methodology is applicable to in all the fields, right? Methodology is same used in all the discipline. Okay, but certain methods. Okay, like I told that the method which is there, which is exclusively can be used in the education, right? DBS system I told you. This DBS methodology is more pertinent to the education field only. It cannot be used in the other. So therefore, broadly in the first 1 or 2 slides, I explained that. So in the behavioral sciences, for example, medical and psychiatric, medical and psychiatric discipline. So it's a behavioral study we are going to do. There you can use very much qualitative research. It's not an issue.
Thank you, sir.
Next.
Thank you.
Next, Vijay sir.
हाँ बोलिए बोलिए. There are 4 participants, I think. They are raising their hands.
आईफोन
iPhone.
Hello.
हाँ बोलिए.
Madam.
Hello, Dr. Lavani sir. This is Jyoti Vijapure
हाँ,
from South Korea.
okay, Jyoti, tell me. How
Happy
are you,
to see
Jyoti?
you after long gap, sir.
Okay, tell me.
Actually, sir, I have one question. If we are using qualitative research data, qualitative data, so what are the methods we can use, or what are the like a SPSS package we have for quantitative analysis or quantitative data analysis? Like that, what are the analysis method for the qualitative one?
Yeah, if you had concentrated on my lecture, there is one software. I am unable to recall the name because I have not used that. In fact, I will share that software to all the participants as a link. Okay, for qualitative data analysis also there is a software I will provide it.
Hello.
हाँ बोलिए.
Thank you, sir.
हेलो.
हाँ yes.
सर मेरा ये क्वेश्चन ये था कि जब हम डाटा एनालिसिस करते हैं तो कोई ना कोई हम सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करते हैं उसको एनालिसिस करने के लिए, जैसे SPSS. ठीक है ना सर. तो मेरा ये सवाल ये है कि SPSS सभी लोग यूज करते हैं, इजीली अवेलेबल है, ये इसलिए इसको यूज करें, या किसी भी सॉफ्टवेयर को ऐसे डाटा एनालिसिस करें तो भी चलेगा? मतलब कहने का मतलब ये है कि क्या जरूरी है SPSS ही हम यूज करें और भी हम सॉफ्टवेयर ले सकते हैं, तो उससे नहीं हो सकता क्या? या उसकी ऑथेंटिसिटी की बात आती है इसलिए हम ऐसा करते हैं?
May I know your name, please?
My name is Vijay Anand.
Okay. Are you a faculty member?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, it's a very good question. It is not that which software you are using it. Okay. What happened? SPSS is very user friendly today, and quickly will get the result. Therefore, people go for that, right? Huh? So even Excel sheet, if you use, no, it is not that your data processed in the Excel. Therefore, it is having a lower quality of rating. No, it's not like that. You can use any software. That's not an issue.
Sir, my second question is that what is the difference between the PhD title and DLit title? Is there any difference or same, or it is a broad subject, or is it a narrower than DLit? What is the secret behind this?
No. What happened, I tell you, there is no difference between the titling. Okay. The title for MPhil, PhD, postdoctoral, DLit, there is no change as such in the. What is said that the title should be very specific, and it should represent your theme of the research, isn't it? I think Nagpur, do they have the DLit program? I don't think that. Lucknow, in social work, Lucknow only the university, I think, to best of my knowledge today,
Sir,
which offer the DLit in social work. Okay. And as you are raising the question that there is no difference of titling method as such.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anybody else? Again, there are a few more.
HP.
पाटील.
हाँ हाँ हॅलो. हा बोला. सर, माझा एक प्रश्न होता की आपण जे स्टेप्स लिहितो रिसर्चच्या, हॅलो, तर तिकडे आपण म्हणजे मास्टर चार्ट वगैरे असं एक स्टेप्स लिहितो आणि इकडे आता SPSS पॅकेज झालं तर त्याच्यामध्ये मास्टर चार्टचं काही लेनदेनच नाही राहत. तर अशा वेळेस मग ह्या ज्या स्टेप्स लिहिताना मी भरपूरशा रिसर्चरच्या पाहिल्या, इकडे ते पूर्ण स्टेप्स ऑफ रिसर्च म्हणजे मास्टर चार्ट वगैरे लिहितात आणि नंतर त्याच्या डेजर्टेशन मध्ये दिसते की इकडे SPSS चा वापर केलेला. तर मॉडर्न याच्यामध्ये स्टेप्सचे बी चेंजिंग व्हायला पाहिजे जेव्हा ते सबमिटेड करतात तेव्हा.
आता तुम्ही एक्चुअली आपण डेटा प्रोसेसिंगचं एक स्टेप वापरतो. डेटा प्रोसेसिंग आपण कसं करणार आहोत, ओके, ते आपण त्या स्टेप मध्ये लिहितो. इफ यू आर गोइंग टू डू इट थ्रू द SPSS, सो द डेटा विल बी प्रोसेस्ड विथ द हेल्प ऑफ द SPSS. एक्सेल असेल तर एक्सेल किंवा मास्टर शीट असेल तर मास्टर शीट.
बरोबर.
असं स्पेसिफिकली लिहायचं, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. ओके,
हा, ठीक आहे.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
I have another one question.
Ask me.
Sir, what kind of statistical analysis we need or we must use in the PhD? Is it compulsory to use higher level statistical analysis test?
See, try to understand. The analysis is based on the main objective of your study. What exactly you want to know, what results you want to know, right? Through the objective it depicts. Okay.
Yeah.
Accordingly, your statistical, tests are used.
Okay.
It is not that which test, because in the data process also, in the steps of the research proposal, we write how the data will be processed, right?
Yes.
And what test you are going to have, statistical test. It is depend upon what you want to know exactly. Depend upon that you can use the statistical test.
Sir, but you told that in small respondent or in small data also we can use for our PhD. If we have small respondent or small kind of data, so in that, is it possible to use higher level statistical applications?
No. It is not higher level, it is not lower level. It is need based. It is need based.
Okay, understood, sir. Understood. Yeah.
See what happened. Hello.
Okay, sir, you can continue.
Hello.
Sir, please continue.
We used to process the data also. Today, instead of that, we are using the software. Therefore, there is no question of higher level or lower level. Okay, next.
Okay, sir, the questions are over now. I would like to thank Dr. B.T. Lavani, sir, on behalf of whole team of Sri Saraswati Social Work College, Washim, and on participant side, I would like to thanks to you very much, sir. Now, our second session will start with Dr. Keshav Walke, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
सर वेलकम सर. डॉक्टर सर, श्री कॉलेज की तरफ से और मैं खुद आपका तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ कि आपने कम समय में, अभी हमारा जो टाइम है सही मायने से देखा जाए कि आप सुबह आपसे बात हो गई और आपने आपका कीमती समय हमें दिया, इसलिए मैं पहले से कॉलेज की तरफ से आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया करता हूँ और एलने सर की तरफ से भी और मेरी तरफ से भी. वेलकम सर. वर्षा मैम.
गुड आफ्टरनून.
Sir, please unmute yourself. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Morning, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. What about you?
Fine.
Welcome, Dr. Walke, sir, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today, for the second session, our resource person is Dr. Keshav Walke, sir. I am going to give his brief introduction. Sir has presently a position of Associate Professor for NAC IQAC course coordinator for a 6 months short-term course in a social science research method. Faculty in charge of also a childline and field action project for promoting organ donation at Matru Seva Sangh Institute of Social Work, Nagpur. Sir is the director of NSS RTM Nagpur University, a national level master's trainer with Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, Sri Perumbudur, Tamil Nadu, for life skill development and career counseling. Sir is a member of exam board committee for PhD coursework, UGC HRDC RTM Nagpur University. Sir is a member Board of Studies National Service Scheme, Barkatullah University, Bhopal. Sir is also a nodal officer, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, RTM Nagpur University. Sir is awarded with district level Best Teacher Award in year 2013 by Sri Gajanan Maharaj Multipurpose Welfare Society. RTMNU's University level Best NSS Program Officer in year 2013-14. Sir also has awarded with NSS Best Program Officer. Sir has presented 25 research papers in national and international seminar conferences. Sir has published 13 research papers in referred journals, including 3 international journals. Sir has done very important research work, which are as follows. He has completed UGC minor research project. Sir has completed NIRI sponsored socio-economic study of Arowa Ghat area in Bastar district, Chhattisgarh. He was a principal investigator. Sir has completed a UNICEF-sponsored research project on assessment of juvenile justice system in Jharkhand state. He is also functioned as an associate investigator in Government of Maharashtra-sponsored socio-economic study of Gosikhurd PAF's report submitted in January 2015. Sir has completed ICSSR major research project. He also completed a research project with social impact assessment of state water supply system in Himachal Pradesh. Sir is functioned as a principal investigator in third-party data verification of village profile and Taluka planning atlas in Gujarat state. He is doing tribal ministry sponsored major research on ST and other traditional dwellers in protected areas. Last but not the least, I welcome to Dr. Keshav Walke sir to present his topic on research tools and data collection on very short notice.
I will
Thank you very much, sir.
actually, I will rejoin my this computer. I'm not able to share my screen. Within a minute, I will rejoin.
Okay, sir, no problem.
एक मिनिट फक्त.
ओके.
मी याला डिस्कनेक्ट करून दुसरा जॉईन करतोय. एक मिनिट.
स्क्रीन शेअर होत नाही कसं?
हा ते मला मी टेक्निकली एज्युकेटेड नाही आहे, लिटरेट आहे, त्याच्यामुळे ते प्रॉब्लेम होऊ शकतं.
सर खाली ऑप्शन आहे सर ग्रीन याच्यात शेअर स्क्रीन.
हे माझं ते सरफेस प्रो आहे, त्याला मी शिकायचं अजून. मी इकडे आता जॉईन झालोय.
सर दोन्ही करताना एकाच म्यूट ठेवू द्या.
आणि मी याला
हा इको म्हणेन.
आता मी जॉईन झालोय इकडनं.
परंतु पीपीटी सर.
हा मी सुरू करतो. एक मिनिट फक्त.
ओके. आवाज येत नाही का तुमच्या तिथून? कनेक्ट होत नाही का?
हा नाही पीपीटी तो मला प्रॉब्लेम होतो थोडासा. मी आता करतो. एक मिनिट फक्त. यार actually I'm not able to share my screen.
मॅडम
सर यू कॅन सेंड इट टू मी. आय एम
आता पाठवू का तुम्हाला?
येस सर.
ईमेल ला व्हॉट्सअपला पाठवू आता?
ईमेल ला पाठवा सर. व्हॉट्सअप
चालेल, ईमेल ला पाठवतो.
मेसेज करते आम्ही तुम्हाला.
हो.
सर काय प्रॉब्लेम काय येतो?
माहित नाही, मी करू शकून नाही राहिलो ते.
तुमच्या स्क्रीनवर काय येतो सध्या मला ते सांगा. तुम्ही आता
स्क्रीनवरती
नाही मोबाईलवर करतायत का?
मोबाईलवर करतोय.
मोबाईलवर केल्यानंतर स्क्रीन शेअरचा ऑप्शन आहे ना सर, त्याला
हो स्क्रीन शेअरचा ऑप्शन आहे.
हा त्याला क्लिक करा.
हा एक मिनिट. केलं?
नाही सर होत नाही. स्क्रीन शेअर होत नाही.
स्क्रीन शेअर केलं मी.
नाही झालं नाही सर.
अच्छा
सर ईमेल टाकला आहे तुम्हाला मेसेज.
आता टाकले. स्क्रीन शेअर केला ना सर? आलंय का तिकडे?
नाही सर.
काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे?
मोबाईल पण होतं, स्क्रीन शेअर होते मोबाईल पण. तुमचं स्क्रीन जात नाही, स्क्रीन सेव्हर होत नाही.
माहित नाही, आतापर्यंत तर व्हायचं. फोटो वगैरे मी शेअर करायचो.
नाही झालं नाही सर. ऑप्शन झालं नाही.
काय माहिती. अच्छा विदाउट पीपीटी केलं तर चालेल?
सर पीपीटी पाठवून द्या, मॅडम करतात ना, हँडल करतात.
आम्ही ठीक आहे. एक मिनिट पाठवतो. एक मिनिट. बरं.
ईमेल केला आहे सर तुम्हाला ऍड्रेस?
हो. मेसेज केला की व्हॉट्सअप?
नाही, याच्यात चॅट मध्ये केलाय. सध्या इथेच चॅट मध्ये पाठवला आहे तुम्हाला. प्रायव्हेटली आला असेल.
चॅट मध्ये आहे का?
हो हो हो.
थोडं लिटरेट असल्याचा प्रॉब्लेम आहे हा.
नाही सर, असं काही नाही. शिंदे सरांना पाठवले तरी चालेल. सर मला पाठवले ते.
एक मिनिट. पाठवलं मॅडम?
ओके सर.
तोपर्यंत आपण सुरू करूया.
हाँ चालेल सर, चालेल.
तब तक हम लोग वी कैन स्टार्ट बिफोर वी विल लेट्स till the PPT starts. We will start with our presentation or talk on tools and methods of data collection. Very good afternoon to all.
सर तुमचा मोबाईलचा स्क्रीन व्यवस्थित करा ना, दिसत नाही.
हो.
स्क्रीन
सर पीपीटी आली
नाही, मेल आलाय तुम्हाला बघा.
मॅडम स्पॅम मध्ये बघा, स्पॅम मध्ये गेला असेल. रिफ्रेश मारा मॅडम.
रिफ्रेश केलं.
इथून तर पाठवलं, माझ्याकडनं गेले.
स्पॅम मध्ये
आहे का?
हो आहे स्पॅम.
आणि मॅडम ते डाउनलोड करून हे करा.
हो हो
हो, डाउनलोड करा पहिले आणि डाउनलोड कॉपीज डेस्कटॉपवर टाका.
Shall I start?
एक मिनिट.
तो पण प्रस्तावना वगैरे सुरू करा सर.
हाँ, that's what I was thinking. Basically, the topic which we are going to discuss now, it is methods and tools of data collection. But that everyone knows what is the what do you mean by data? That information which we collect to fulfill the objectives and to test the hypothesis. जनरली वही इंफॉर्मेशन को हम लोग डेटा बोलते हैं जो हमारे रिसर्च के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हो और हमारे हाइपोथेसिस को टेस्ट करने के लिए जो इंफॉर्मेशन हमें लगने वाली है उसी को हम लोग इंफॉर्मेशन को ही हम लोग क्या कहते हैं, डेटा कहते हैं. बेसिकली देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ डेटा, factual and opinion kind of data.
Sir, I am going to share your PPT.
हाँ, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. Yeah. Go to second, third step. Third slide. Okay. So basically the information which we collect to fulfill our objectives and to test the hypothesis, the information which we collect that we generally consider as a data. There are mainly two types of data, factual and opinion kind of data. In other words, we can, another two types are there, quantitative and qualitative also. Factual means facts. If I'm asking someone what is in your pocket, he can say there is a pen, so that is a fact. But if I'm asking how that pen is, it becomes a opinion or attitude. So like that, two kinds of basic data are there, or quantitative and qualitative data generally we consider. And there are two sources of data that everyone knows, so I will not go on that. Basically, when we talk about tools of data collection, next slide. When we talk about tools and methods of data collection, then we talk about the primary source of data collection. So generally, there are two kinds of sources, primary source and secondary source. The data which is in the form of written form, particularly any form, that may be personal diary or whatever, we consider it as a secondary data, that also we take. But when we talk about data collection methods and tools, then we use or develop the tools for collecting data from the primary source. So before starting developing the tool, just before this, I was attending Lavani sir's session, and he also says your tool and nature of questions that will be depending upon the funding agency and their interest. So I'm discussing here on only common things which we generally consider while developing the tool. I had forgotten to thank the organizer. Then I will start with my session. Meanwhile, just because of these difficulties and inconvenience, I have forgotten to express my thanks and gratitude. I am first of all thankful to Saraswati College of Social Work, Washim, their principal and faculty for organizing such wonderful webinar. And I'm thankful to Lavani sir also. I got many things from his session. So, and I'm continuing with this. Before starting making a tool, we have to understand the next slide, please. Data measurement. There are basically 4 levels of data measurement. Whatever information we collect or we data we collect or information we collect, there are 4 levels. First one is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. First of all, we have to understand this. We have to categorize the data which we collect into these 4 categories. Then only it is easy to apply the statistical test also and making the tool also. So first level, very common level, that is nominal level. When we have to understand, we assign number of symbol to the events or responses in order to label them. Whatever responses we are getting, if it is not possible to arrange them in a particular order or sequence, and it doesn't have quantitative value, then we can consider it as a nominal one. Like for example, gender, marital status, religion, all these are examples which we cannot arrange. So these are considered as a nominal kind of data. Another one, next level is ordinal level of data. Ordinal level of data, when it is possible to order the responses, but no attempt is made to make the intervals or the scale equal to इक्वल इन टर्म्स ऑफ सम रूल्स, कोई रूल्स न लगाते हुए कुछ एक पर्टिकुलर सीक्वेंस लगा सकते हैं या ऑर्डर लगा सकते हैं, तो देन वी कैन कंसिडर इट एज अ ऑर्डिनल वन. Examples are given: educational level, level of satisfaction, degree of awareness. These are some examples of ordinal kind of data. Then it comes to interval. When intervals are adjusted in terms of some rules, a basic for making unit equals, then it is considered as a interval kind of data. Simple. If we are not getting the absolute value or absolute number, then it can be considered as a interval kind of data. For an example, we can say temperature, IQ. Whenever we measure, we never get exact absolute number. It is in a class or interval. Even we can say pass class, first class, second class, like that. It is the interval kind of data. Then ratio, when we get absolute numbers in the responses, then it is considered as a ratio. I can simply say the person who is earning 1,500 rupees, he is earning 1/3 of the person who is earning 500, 3 times more than the person who is earning 500. Like that, we can measure that data into ratio. And if your data it is in the form of ratio, then all the statistical tests you can apply. For example, height, weight, distance, all this we can get in a absolute number. And here we can have all these tests. And interval, we can have mean, standard error, correlation, t-test, f-test, like that. And in nominal kind of data, we generally can use only mode, no other test is possible. In ordinal, median, rank, correlation, all these tests we can use, but no other t-test and like that we cannot use here. Okay. Next slide, please. Now we are coming to methods and tools. So basically, there are 3 methods of data collection. Basically, there are various, and if we go through different books and material, we'll get different advanced techniques also. Interview, observation, questionnaire. These are the methods, and tools are questionnaire. It is a method and tool both, and schedule. So there are 4 kind of schedules. We consider it as an interview schedule, observation schedule, ranking schedule, domain schedule, interview guide, and there's for focus group discussion we can use the guide also. Next slide, please. I will not go into what do you mean by interview or like that. That is everyone knows. Just that is the purpose. Basically, when we use interview method, we use it for securing certain information from the subject which is known only to himself and cannot be gathered from any other source. Particularly, interview we use when we can get information from the direct respondent, not from other person, and we have to have a study, particularly of verbal behavior under given circumstances. Then we use interview. Basically, there are 3 types of interviews: non-structured interview, structured interview, and focused interview. We can use this. Non-structured, when we don't have any structured or number of questions, time regarding that we never think, and only we have points, and on that basis we discuss. Then structured interview, we have everything: how many questions we will ask, what will be the sequence of the questions, like that. And focus interview means when we have to take opinion kind of things or some reactions we have to invite. Like that, if someone asks, how is the PK film? Simple example I'm taking, I'm not taking any social science one. If that person has seen it, then only that person can tell about it or give his reactions or her reactions. So focus interview, it is used in interviews also, that group interviews or interview panels are there in TV discussions. We generally find that the host, he generally introduces the subject and then reactions are invited from the panelists. Like that, we use the focus interview. Please, next slide. Next slide, please. Next one. Another two types of interviews are personal interview and telephone interview. When we directly interact face to face with the respondent, it is personal interview, and when we telephonically also, we can have the interview with the people and respondent. That's why it is considered as a telephonic interview. Please go ahead. I'm going fast, then we can have a discussion because these are common things. Go ahead. Next one. Another method is observation. Generally, observation, we generally consider only watching or like that, but it is not like that. Accurate watching and noting of the phenomena as they occur in nature with a specific purpose. Not only seeing or looking, but watching and noting both, then it considered as a observation. But most of the time, if we leave this psychological studies, all other we don't give much importance to observation. But observation, it is one of the important tool, and there are various examples we can take or note, like Piaget, a father of child psychology. What he has done? He has studied or observed his own son from his birth to 18 years, and whatever conclusion he has drawn are common for all the children in the world. So observation can be used as a measure tool and method also. There are other examples, Buddha, Bhagavad Gita, Jesus, Prophet Muhammad. All these people, they have experimented on their own by keeping themselves as a in neutral condition, and whatever they have observed their behavior, and whatever they have told to the world, that is known to all of us. Basically, next slide please. Characteristics of observation. It's a direct method. We collect primary data. Scientific observation and deep study is possible. Basically, collection follows the observation. And good relationship between the researcher and respondent, and selective purposeful collection. Unnecessary information we don't collect. Whatever we collect, it is useful and purposeful. Then it becomes a questionnaire. Questionnaire, again, it is all are known. It is a set of questions where respondents from whom we are collecting the information, वो खुद अपने भरोसे वो information को fill करता है. Like our exam, university give us a set of questions, and whatever we think that we write, like that, it is a questionnaire. Objective, particularly when we use the questionnaire, it is we use to collect information from the respondents scattered in a wide area. We have to cover, if we want to cover more area, wider area, geographical area, then this particular questionnaire, it is very useful. And to achieve success in collecting reliable and dependable information, then here we have to, first of all, we have to think, questionnaire we can use very good, but main drawback of questionnaire is we cannot use it for all the intellectual level person, or if people are not literate or not able to read and write, then it is not possible to use questionnaire, but it is useful when your respondents are able to write and understand the questions asked. So you can cover large area within a short period of time, and you can reach to many people at a time. So in that case, questionnaire is very much useful. Basically, there are three type of, it depends upon the structure, what kind of questionnaires are there. Structured questionnaire, like just we have said, okay, there will be a set of questions, proper sequence, particular nature of questions asked that will be thought of, and everything that will be decided early, and on that basis, questionnaire will be prepared. Then non-structured questionnaire, it can be used as a interview guide like that. And another one is pictorial, we can say. I don't know here I have mentioned it or not. It is there. It depends upon the nature of questionnaire. There are 3 types of questionnaires. One is close-ended questionnaire, open-ended questionnaire, and pictorial questionnaire. Basically, close-ended questionnaire, when we block the respondent by asking the question and he cannot respond or give response other than what we have given. Like that, if we can ask, have you had your food? They can say yes or no. They cannot say I don't know or can't say. They will say yes or no only. If we are asking gender, we will get male, female, or third gender we can add now. And like that, whatever multiple choice questions are there, we can respond from that only. We cannot add new one that is there. So that close-ended question and open-ended question. Like that, I ask, have you had your food? Or I can ask, what you have taken in your food? So like that, that will be open-ended question, and respondents are free to make their own responses. So subjective kind of questions which comes in the competitive exam also, that is a good example of it. Then pictorial questionnaire is there, when sometimes if respondents to make respondent understood easily the question, some pictures are used, and based on that pictures questions are asked, then it becomes a pictorial questionnaire. Then these are again different kinds of questionnaires. It depends upon how you use it. It's a group administered. At a time, if you want to collect information from the whole class, you can orient them what is the questionnaire, and at a time you can get all the questionnaire field at a time. Then you can have a mailed questionnaire. You can mail the questionnaire. Nowadays we send questionnaire through mails, and we get back through mails also. Then another type is house drop off. Nowadays it is not used, but it is there. We drop it to the respondent's house, and then after 2-3 days or sometime we recollect it after visiting the houses. Then main issues are there, question issues. We have to think here, what types of questions can be asked whenever we make a questionnaire. These are some questions which we have to keep in mind. How complex will the question be? Will screening questions be needed? We will see what is screening questions and like that. Can question sequence be controlled? Will lengthy question be asked? Will long response scales be used? All these questions, issues, we have to keep in mind when we prepare a questionnaire. Can the respondent be expected to know about the issue? Will respondent need to consult records? All these things, whatever questions you are asking, that time we have to keep in mind whether these conditions or situations will arise there. And again, administrative issues we have to keep in mind whenever we make interview schedule or questionnaire: costs, facilities, time, and personnel. If you are doing for your study purpose at MAW or master's level, you are going to collect on your own. But if you are doing your PhD and other research projects, then you have to hire the personnel or manpower you will require. So how many manpower will be requiring? That things we have to keep in mind. And then when we write the questions, there are 3 areas involved in writing question: determining the question content, scope, and purpose; choosing the response format that you use for collecting information from the respondent; and figuring out how to word the question to get at the issue of interest. Here we have to keep in mind, first of all, whenever we start developing the questionnaire, we have to think of what are our objectives and what is our hypothesis. What are our hypotheses? Because hypothesis and objectives will tell you what are the variables or parameters you are going to cover in your study, and particularly how you are going to test that hypothesis, what variables you have considered for what are your independent variables, what are your dependent variables, what is the terminology you have used, how you have defined your variables. All these things we have to consider while writing the questions. And finally, once you have your questions written, there is the issue how best to place them in a proper tool or instrument. Type of questions, some types we will take. Dichotomous questions generally we ask when we are getting only possible two responses we are getting, then that kind of questions are called as dichotomous question. Only two possible responses. Here are some examples I have given. Do you believe that the death penalty is ever justified? You can get yes or no. Please enter your gender. That is another example. Type of questions again. Questions based on there are 4 levels which we have discussed earlier: nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. What kind of questions you are asking? Just here I have to mention, sometimes we give the categories of age first before starting. When we develop the questionnaire or interview schedule, we ask age in years, and we give categories up to 20 years, 20 to 25 years, 20 to 25 to 30 years, like that, and we give above 50 years also, like that. But if you are giving or making questions like that, it is very difficult to apply the statistical test. So keeping in mind, you collect actual age you collect. After that, by using any software, you can categorize that data into different categories. And when you are making those categories, it should have some sense or some relevance, or I can say some meaning to that. Like we collect information related to family income. We collect information that what is your family income from all sources. So this information we collect, but in addition to it, we should again bifurcate it, or another question we should have, which we should not ask to the respondent, but we can have per capita income. It will decide the economical status of that particular family. So what I'm saying here, if you are getting quantitative data, or your responses, your question you are asking, and you are getting responses in the form of numbers or digit, my suggestion is you collect actual and then you categorize it. So it depends. We don't have to categorize it at the beginning only. So like that, we have to decide at what level of measurement our questions are there. Then next, please. Nominal questions examples are here: occupational class, truck driver, lawyer, etc. we can give. Then ordinal level, we can give such kind of questions. We can rank the candidates in order of preference from best of worst. So there are 4. We can ask the respondent to rank all these responses from first to 1 to 4. Then we can have interval kind of data, and this type of questions we can ask. Generally we use in a scale, rating scale. A rating scale comes under interval level of questions, and we can use particularly this. Then some questions we ask based on favor. So like this, we can have a questions based on favor. I'm going fast, then we can have a time to discuss, because already my time in sharing my slide has gone. Then earlier I had talked about the filter or contingency questions. So when based on the response of asked question, if we have to ask another question, the first question it is called as filter question. Here example is given. Next slide, please, ma'am. Next slide. First, before one. Here we have to see filter question when we ask first question and based on the response of first question, we ask another question. Here is, have you ever smoked marijuana? If say yes, then we can ask another question. If yes, about how many times have you smoked marijuana? Here also, sometimes we ask many questions asked like that. These are considered as a filter question. Next one. So this was all about questionnaire. Schedule, generally we use, it is also set of question, but when we use it in a face-to-face interview or face-to-face situation with another person, then it is called as schedule. Schedule, Hindi we call, in Marathi we call it as a anusuchi. Anusuchi, it is nothing but the list. So there are the basic. Next slide, please. The purpose behind using schedule, it is to collect information or data in an objective manner, to help in memory. Sometimes if directly we are interviewing the person, while writing and analysis of the data and tabulation, it helps us. So that is the purpose of using schedule. There are 4 types of schedule, basically. If we are using that list of questions or aspects for observation purpose, it is called as observation schedule. If we are using it for rating purpose, that scales we have seen in ordinal scale and interval scale also, then we use it is considered as a rating schedule. Another type is the domain schedule, which we use when our questions are related, or we are asking the questions related to the life history based on the available material. Then it is called as domain schedule. And 4 types generally we use generally, that is interview schedule. And we can have mix. Not necessary that in interview schedule you can have observation aspects also. You can have rating aspect also, and these we can have. Some characteristics are there when we use interview schedule or helpful. Accurate communications, question should be interlinked, separate and suggestive. That question sequence, that is most important, and filter questions tell us whether we have to ask another question or not. So that questions should be interlinked. Simply we asked, are you married? That person said, not, I am unmarried. We should not ask another question, how many children do you have? We should skip that question. But sometimes it happens. Someone, that Judai film is there. Someone tells that Paresh Rawal that you have asked the latter question first and first question latter. So again he goes to other person and asks, how many children do you have? Reply is 2 to 3. Again another question he asks, are you married? So like that interlink should be there and sequence. And for accurate responses, the size of schedule should be attractive. The question of the schedule should be clearly worded. Question should not injure the personal feelings of the respondents, and information brought should be capable of being tabulated. Simply when we collect family information, we generally ask, what does your father do? And sometimes that respondent starts crying because that person, that respondent may not have the father or husband, and that time they may start crying, and our purpose of collecting the data that may get the hurdles or difficulties. So emotional kind of questions we have to avoid. Some rules we have to follow while making the tools. or questionnaire or interview schedule, whatever. Before making the questionnaire, make the separate list of independent and dependent variables. We have to think what are our independent variables and what are our dependent variables, and we should clearly make the list and separate it. Start with easy and non-threatening questions. Simply first start with introductory questions, then put more difficult and threatening questions near the end. जो भी क्वेश्चन है डायरेक्टली जो किस प्रॉब्लम पे आप स्टडी कर रहे हो उस प्रॉब्लम पे पहले क्वेश्चन ना पूछते हुए प्रॉब्लम्स वाले क्वेश्चन जो है वो हम लोगों ने कहां लेने चाहिए, एट द एंड में लेने चाहिए. एंड नेवर स्टार्ट अ मेल क्वेश्चनर विथ एन ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चन. जब भी मेल क्वेश्चनर आप लोग कर रहे हो एनी क्वेश्चनर, इट इज बेटर not to start with open-ended question. And for historical demographics, follow chronological order. तो कुछ हिस्टोरिकल कुछ आपको डेटा कलेक्ट करना है तो उसके लिए हमको chronological order फॉलो करना जरूरी रहेगा. Ask about one topic at a time. When you are discussing or collecting the data, you should separate your questionnaire or schedule as per different topics or aspects, and that aspect should cover the question should cover all the aspects and it should not mix with the other aspect. Then reduce response sets. We should not have many responses. So here we have to think and reduce responses, a response set. Then for filter or contingency questions, make a flow chart. जैसे अभी हम लोगों ने देखा था पहले के चार्ट में, अगर वो फिल्टर और कंटिजेंसी क्वेश्चन है तो फ्लो चार्ट अगर बनाते हैं तो आसानी से वो समझ में आता है. That can be understood by everyone. Then thank the respondent at the beginning for allowing you to conduct your study. जैसे मैं आज अभी भूल गया था, it is better first of all we have to thank the respondent before allowing to conduct the study. Keep your study as short as possible. Only include what is absolutely necessary. Many times we ask, and one question is compulsory when we make the schedule, what is your mother tongue? How many languages you know? Many studies, it does not have this, or it is not needed to collect this information, but when we collect personal information, we collect all these kind of things. So here we have to keep in mind that only include that information or that question which is absolutely necessary. Be sensitive to the needs of the respondent. बहुत बार ऐसे होता है कि हम लोग डेटा कलेक्शन करने जाते हैं, सर्वे करने जाते हैं और लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि ये सर्वे की वजह से, ये सर्वे करने जाएंगे तो कुछ ना कुछ मेरा भी फायदा होगा. Sometimes that's why they never share some information, and we find also कि देखते हैं कि घर में पूरी फैसिलिटीज है लेकिन बताते समय हमें बहुत ज्यादा गरीब है हम लोग ये बताते हैं. Like that, when we collect data, that time we have to be sensitive to the needs of the respondent. Be alert for any sign that the respondent is uncomfortable. When we are collecting information and having interview, if our respondent is not comfortable, then we have to understand and we have to stop our interview there and stop our data collection there. Thank the respondent at the end of participating. When we end our interview, that time also we have to thank the respondent and assure the respondent that you will send a copy of the final result. If they need it or they want that, we should assure that that you will share that information with the respondent. These are some plus minus things when we make the or prepare the tool of data collection. Visual presentation is possible when questionnaire group questionnaire is there. Mail questionnaire also here, but in interview, when we have a phone interview, we cannot have visual presentation. Then long response categories is possible in interview. In personal interviews, it may not be possible, but in questionnaire and other, you can use it. Privacy in questionnaire, particular mail questionnaire, it is possible. And personal interview, it is possible. In phone, I don't know whether it will be possible if some people are there, but in questionnaire, it may not be there. Questionnaire, it is not flexible, as I said earlier. We cannot use it for all the intellectual level people. And again, open-ended question, it is feasible. It is not feasible in questionnaire, but in interview, it is there. Reading and writing is needed in questionnaire, not in interview. So based on these points, I will share this, already shared, and I will request the organizer to share this PPT with you. So all these, you can go through it and discuss and think when you are preparing the tool for data collection. In questionnaire, all these points, I'm not going to that. Okay. And these are other tools which generally use: interview guide, observation guide, guide for focus group discussion, FGDs, and nowadays for collecting qualitative data, basically this focus group discussions we generally use, an interview guide generally use, and observation guide generally use. Interview guide generally we have, all of might have seen in India, Nayak picture film, where Anil Kapoor asks Amrish Puri, and he does not have the set of questions. While asking the question, he have the aspects and some information which will guide him to have a questions to the chief minister, and like that it can be used. These are some tools which we use generally for the data collection. In a hurry I had, and because of my inconvenience in sharing my slide, there was a problem. And now we can have question answer session. Thank you to the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Actually, in morning only I have been called, and during short session I was supposed to prepare. So I don't know whether I was able to fulfill or satisfy the participants. I don't know. Thank you very much. It's over to the organizer. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Dr. Keshav Aike, sir, from Matru Seva Sangh College of Social Work, Nagpur. Sir has thrown light on research tool and data collection. In a very short time, he had agreed to give us his to present his knowledge towards us. Now I request to Professor Vijay Gawande, sir, to hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
बोला मैडम, बोला.
Now the session is open for question and answer. देशमुख सर स्क्रीन ओके डन.
हा मॅडम, HP नावाचे कोणतरी आहेत, त्याचा लॅपटॉप नंबर नाव आहे HP.
हो. HP
जिनका नाम HP का जो लैपटॉप है उनका नाम स्क्रीन पर आ रहा है HP बोल के. आपका क्वेश्चन जो है वो आप पूछ सकते हैं. ओके मैडम. हेलो.
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 हाँ बोलिए.
ठीक है मैडम, दूसरा क्या है?
ओके लावण्या, please ask your question.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है, when we use Google form for data collection, What kind of precautions research scholar follow?
गूगल फॉर्म में अगर पहले से अगर आप रिस्पॉन्सेस देते हैं, क्लोज एंडेड करते हैं, तो उसका ज्यादा फायदा होगा।
ओके।
ताकि रिस्पोंडेंट जो होगा डायरेक्ट क्लिक करके आपको उसका रिस्पॉन्स दे सके। बट व्हेन वी फॉर्म ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चन, दैट टाइम he may not answer in a way which we are expecting. So most of the time अगर आप पहले से ही क्वेश्चंस जो पूछ रहे हो और उसका जो ऑप्शंस है, रिस्पॉन्सेस है, एक्सपेक्टेड आंसर्स, एक्सपेक्टेड रिस्पॉन्सेस पहले से अगर आप दे रहे हो, दैट विल बी मोर यूजफुल, आई थिंक सो। I have used this for collecting data of my NSS work in my 4 districts just during COVID, and it was very much useful for me for getting the information from all the 250 colleges on daily basis. So पहले ऑप्शन दो और आपके क्वेश्चंस ऐसे हो कि जिसका आंसर बहुत शॉर्ट में वो लिखने की जरूरत हो। बहुत लंबा लिखने की अगर जरूरत होगी तो फिर गूगल फॉर्म में जो हम लोग डेटा कलेक्ट करेंगे तो लोग जो रिस्पॉन्ड करने वाले हैं वो ज्यादा समय नहीं देंगे और वो बोर हो जाएंगे और आपको उसका रिस्पॉन्स मिलना थोड़ा कठिन जाएगा।
ओके सर। और मेरा सेकंड क्वेश्चन मेरा ये सर, when we use mixed kind of data resources, we use practically, for example, professional worker, suffer person, and suffer family. This type data collection difficult for researcher?
It is better if your data respondents are from different strata. Basically, we should have different tool for different strata.
Yes.
If their role is different, their functions are different, and your expectations are different from different strata, respondent from different strata, then we should have different tools. For the respondent, if you are studying on particularly the displaced people, for getting information from the displaced people directly, you have to use the interview schedule only.
Okay.
But the worker who are working, you can use the questionnaire.
Okay.
You can use FGD with the displaced people. But if you are involving the forest official also to get what their role is in the displacement process or other revenue people, then you have to have different tools for, because their role is different. You cannot have common questions. Some questions can have a common one, and common question you can have a common table also while analysis and interpretation. But if your respondents are stratified into different strata, sampling will be also a stratified sampling, and your tools will be different from different strata.
Okay, sir, but that difficult for researcher? No.
Not necessary. Not necessary. It is not difficult.
Okay, thank you. और sir last question सिर्फ एक ही है last question. When we telephonic data, आपने बोला telephonic data collection. So in which way we keep the record for research?
Nowadays you can record also whatever you talk.
जब हम
रिकॉर्डिंग होती है। आजकल पत्रकार वगैरह जो कमेंट्स लेते कोविड के दरमियान कैसे कलेक्ट किया उन्होंने थ्रू टेलीफोन and they have given the news. So like that, there is a possibility is there.
Okay, next
Thank you,
question, sir. Next question is from Chandu Patil, sir. Sir, please ask.
नमस्कार सर.
बोला चंदू.
हा, तुम्ही ते इंटरव्ह्यूचे 3 प्रकार सांगितले, स्ट्रक्चर, अनस्ट्रक्चर आणि फोकस इंटरव्ह्यू. तर माझा हे होतं की अनस्ट्रक्चर आणि फोकस इंटरव्ह्यू याच्यामध्ये काय फरक आहे?
दोन मध्ये फरक असा आहे, फोकस इंटरव्ह्यू मध्ये काय करावं लागेल तुम्हाला, त्या व्यक्तीला विषय माहिती असणं गरजेचं असतं वगैरे, ज्याच्यावरती तुम्ही त्याला प्रश्न विचारणार आहात. तो विषय अगोदर त्याला आपण फोकस करतो आणि नंतर त्याच्यावरती त्याच्या प्रतिक्रिया विचारतो. मगाशी जसं म्हटलं आता तुला, मी साधा प्रश्न विचारतो तुला की पर्टिक्युलरली आता क्वारंटाईन सेंटर मध्ये जे न्यूज येतात मध्ये मध्ये की जेवण चांगलं भेटत नाही, येतं ना न्यूज मध्ये,
बरोबर.
आता जर तुला विचारलं मी की बाबा क्वारंटाईन सेंटर मध्ये जेवण कसं भेटतं, काय उत्तर देणार? जोपर्यंत अनुभवलं नसेल किंवा त्याच्याविषयी तुला माहिती दिली नसेल त्याच्या व्यतिरिक्त तू काय म्हणशील, नाही तर मला माहित नाही सर, मी काय उत्तर देऊ शकत नाही, कारण तुला विषयच माहिती नाही ना. मग अशा वेळेस काय करावं लागतं, अगोदर की त्या व्यक्तीला ज्याच्याकडून तुम्ही माहिती गोळा करता अगोदर त्यांना विषयाशी ओरिएंट केलं जातं, विषयाची जाणीव करून दिली जाते आणि मग त्याच्याची प्रतिक्रिया दिली जाते. तुम्ही म्हटलं जर आता पेट्रोलचे भाव वाढलेत, तुमचं काय मत आहे? त्याला हे तर माहिती पाहिजे आज पेट्रोलचे भाव वाढलेत म्हणून, किती आहेत म्हणून, काल किती होते म्हणून, म्हणणे ना, तेव्हा तो प्रतिक्रिया देईल की नाही देईल?
बरोबर.
तर अशा इंटरव्ह्यू जेव्हा घेतो आपण फोकस इंटरव्ह्यू घेतो, परंतु अनस्ट्रक्चर इंटरव्ह्यू मध्ये कसं आहे, नॉट नेसेसरी त्याला ऑलरेडी तो फेस करतोय, आपल्याला फक्त इंटरव्ह्यूअरला माहिती नाही की मी कोणता नेमका क्वेश्चन कधी विचारणार, किती क्वेश्चन विचारणार, त्याचा आपण सेट करून जात नाही. सिक्वेन्स माहिती नसतो, नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चन माहिती नसतात, तेव्हा आपण त्याला म्हणतो अनस्ट्रक्चर.
आणि दुसरा एक प्रश्न आहे सर, त्याच प्रकारे तुम्ही क्वेश्चनरचे 3 प्रकार सांगितले, क्लोज, ओपन अँड थर्ड वन इज पिक्टोरियल. हा, पिक्चोरियल आणि क्लोज याच्यामध्ये कसं काय हे करते?
क्लोज म्हणजे तुम्ही ऑप्शन जे आहेत ते दिलेले आहेत ऑलरेडी, त्याच्यापेक्षा चौथं पाचवं उत्तर तो देऊ शकत नाही. ओके. परंतु तुम्ही आता नर्सरी ते 10वी पर्यंतचे काही पुस्तकं बघा, स्टार्टिंगला नर्सरी आणि प्रायमरी मध्ये तुम्ही जर बघाल काय पुस्तकं असतात, पिक्चर सोबत प्रश्न असतात विचारलेले, बरोबर आहे?
तर ते क्लोज झाले.
उत्तरदात्याला क्लोज नाही झाले, पिक्चर असा एक प्रकारचं तुम्ही म्हणू शकता, पण असं गरजेचं नाही ना, त्याला ऑप्शन खाली दिलेले नसतील ना की याच्यापैकी उत्तर द्या, गरजेचं नाही ते दिलं जाईल. समटाइम्स इट कॅन बी क्लोज ऑल्सो अँड समटाइम्स.
पण ते एक प्रकारचे क्लोजच झाले ना सर, कारण माहिती का ते पिक्चर म्हणजे जे पिक्चर्स दाखवले आहे त्याच्या व्यतिरिक्त तर आपण उत्तर घेणार नाही.
दोन्ही प्रकारचे त्याच्यामध्ये असू शकतात. पिक्चोरियल मध्ये ओपन एंडेड पण येऊ शकतं, क्लोज एंडेड पण येऊ शकतं, असं काही नाही आहे की क्लोजच असेल म्हणून.
हो, तर मग ह्या तिसरा जो ऑप्शन काढला का नाही आपण, ते थोडं
हो ते डिपेंड, ते काढलं कशाला, खूपदा आपण पिक्चर वापरतच नाही ना, ते ऍडिशन आहे ओपन आणि क्लोजच्या, त्याच्यामुळे त्याला एक थर्ड कॅटेगरी बनवलेली ओपन एंडेड आपल्या पिक्चोरियल.
Next question from Jyoti madam. Jyoti Galagi.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
As your presentation, I saw that observation method basically we use for the collecting the data. So how we can analyze that observational things for the analysis and interpretation in our thesis?
It depends how what kind of observations you are using and on what aspects you are using. Basically, observation method, it is used for qualitative kind of data.
Yeah.
And for qualitative kind of data, maximum time we use observation. So it will be a descriptive kind of thing. And but here difficulty is there. Most of the time when we observe, we little bit we are away from the maintaining objectivity, and subjectivity is always there. So in analysis also, qualitative studies you can use maximum time observation method, and when we use quantitative, this will if you should be trained them, particularly in behavioral sciences, this observation method is used, psychological people generally. But in other social sciences, they are having expertise in that. I'm not expert in that, so I will not comment on that. But in my opinion, most of the time we can use observation as a in qualitative kind of studies.
Okay. So can we make a prioritization for analysis, or as it is we have to analyze the answers?
It is always better. It is always better. It is always better. We should be able to understand based on our objective and hypothesis only what kind of test we are going to use. T-test will be there, correlation will be there, chi-square will be there, nowadays everyone use SPSS and use chi-square.
Yeah.
If your data is categorical one, then only you can use the chi-square.
Okay.
If your data is ratio level, interval level, even in interval level, you can use t-test.
Okay.
Hypothesis will tell you whether your t-test will be independent sample t-test or pair sample t-test. So how your hypothesis is? It is based on before after experiment or only after experiment. It will decide. So everything, it is decided. It is a pre-planned thing. Based on your objective and hypothesis only, it will be decided what kind of data is needed and how you are going to analyze it statistically. That will depend upon your objective and hypothesis only. And we have to think before starting our research.
Sir, next question
thank you,
is
sir.
from
Thank you. Thank you.
Sukumar Paul, sir.
मला आवाज येऊन नाही राहिला.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Actually, I would like to just know what is your opinion on quality of answer when we get reply of respondent through mail or Google circulated schedule or questionnaire, because many of the observation are missing there. So
yeah, it will be there because sometimes what happens, what we are asking, it is not understood by the respondent.
Yes.
Sometimes only they are familiar with the researcher only to complete or maintain that relationship, just they will fill the data and they will send it back. And because of that, many times a mailed questionnaire, it is not useful. But if you want to have a rapid study and survey, then and within some period, short period of time we want to use, then I think mail questionnaire also can be useful. And if you want to use wide area, wide geographical area, national level or state level, if you want to cover, physically going there, it is not possible. And that's why this mail questionnaire or even group administered questionnaire, that can be useful in that case.
Okay. Next question is from Vaishali Samre Ingole. Vaishali ma'am, please ask your question.
ठीक आहे, थँक्यू मॅम, थँक्यू. सर, मला विचारायचं होतं की जेव्हा आपण क्वेश्चनर तयार करतो त्यावेळेस समजा MCQ दिलं आणि सोबत एखादा सीन देऊन त्याच्यातून क्वेश्चन फॉर्म करून त्यांना तो सीन बघून किंवा सीन वाचून त्याच्यातून आन्सर लिहायला जर दिले तर हे कितपत योग्य आहे किंवा याचं काही आपल्याला
जास्त युजफुल होईल कारण पिक्चरच्या माध्यमातून तो व्यक्ती जास्त इझिली तो अंडरस्टूड करू शकेल.
नाही, नॉट इन अ पिक्टोरियल फॉर्म, पण एखादा सीन आपण त्यांना डिस्क्राईब करून सांगितला किंवा आणि त्याच्यावर त्यांना त्यांच्या प्रतिक्रिया मागितल्या तर मग ह्याचं आपण स्टॅटिस्टिकल अनालिसिस करताना म्हणजे कोणतं हे लावायचं, पॅरामीटर्स काय लावायचे?
डिपेंड करतंय.
आपण हे लावतो, स्केल्स लावतो, तसं ह्या गोष्टींसाठी काय करायचं?
त्या गोष्टी नाही, तुम्ही ते ओपन एंडेड जर असेल त्याला अगोदर तुम्हाला क्लोज करावं लागेल. जसं मगाशी म्हटलं मी एजचं तुम्ही ऍक्च्युअल घ्या, इन्कम ऍक्च्युअल घ्या, फॅमिली मेंबर्स ऍक्च्युअल घ्या. जसं आता मी फॅमिली मेंबर्स विचारला, फॅमिली साईज किती आहे, ओके, पण सोडलं, आय विल गेट 2 to 8, 12, whatever. What I can do based on the responses, I will categorize it into 3: small family, average family and big family. Small family means less than 4. 5 to 8 मी म्हणेल average family आणि 8च्या वर जर असतील तर big family or large family I can say. I can categorize with giving meaning to that categorization. Okay? And then I can have an analysis.
एक एक्झाम्पल देते मी. आपलं जे आता समजा मी सीन दिलेला आहे तो सीन आहे टाइम मॅनेजमेंटवर. समजा एखादा सीन दिला आहे आणि त्या म्हणजे बाईला, स्त्रीला, ती शिक्षिका असेल किंवा घरी काम करत असेल, तर ती दोन्हीकडे कसं तिचं टाइम मॅनेजमेंट करते याच्यावर आधारित मी एखादा सीन दिला असेल, तर ह्याच्यासाठी पॅरामीटर्स आता कसे वापरायचे?
नाही, तुम्ही प्रश्न काय विचारला त्याला?
नाही तर म्हणजे आता समजा एखादा सीन दिला
तुम्ही
आहे की
सीन दिला,
तुम्हाला
मला
एका
मान्य आहे.
ठिकाणचा
सीन दिला, मला
प्रॉब्लेम
मान्य
सॉल्व्ह
आहे.
करायचा आहे.
हो.
सपोज एखादा प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्ह करायचा आहे विदिन अ पर्टिक्युलर टाइम.
हो.
हा, तर मग त्याच्यासाठी
मला काय
पॅरामीटर्स
म्हणायचं, तुमचा प्रश्न त्या सीन वरती काय आहे हा सर्वात पहिला प्रश्न आहे.
अच्छा, त्याच्यावर डिपेंडंट बाकीचं नाही.
बरोबर आहे की नाही? तुम्हाला एक्सपेक्टेड काय त्या सीन पासनं, काय
की त्यांनी टाइम मॅनेजमेंट कसं
फ्रॉम द
करते,
रिस्पॉन्डंट,
टाइम
त्याचे
मॅनेजमेंट
रिस्पॉन्सेस येतील ना ते मग
अच्छा
कसं
अच्छा
करत
तसं.
आहे.
हा, नाही मग त्याला
तर ते
पॅरामीटर्स कसे
रिस्पॉन्सेस येतील
लावायचे?
ना. बघा, त्याच्या आता रिस्पॉन्सेस काय असू शकतात एक्सपेक्टेड, कसं करत आहे एवढंच ना. तर तो म्हणेल दोन्हीकडलं टाइम मॅनेजमेंट खूप चांगलं करत आहे, शी इज गेटिंग डिफिकल्टी.
अच्छा, म्हणजे स्केल लावूनच करता येईल आपल्याला ते.
हा प्रश्नच नाही ना. त्याला तुम्ही नॉमिनल काइंड ऑफ लेवलला तुम्ही सर्व मोजू शकता ना.
ओके ओके, थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.
नॉमिनल लेवलचा डेटा असणार ते, कारण त्याला तुम्ही रँक देऊ शकत नाही.
जसं मग तुम्ही म्हटलं ते एजचं किंवा क्लासचं, तसं मग कॅटेगराईज करून घ्यायचं त्याला.
हो हो, बेसिकली काय आपल्या क्वेश्चनच्या माध्यमातून काय एक्सपेक्टेड आहे, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दॅट वी हॅव टू अंडरस्टँड.
ओके ओके, थँक्यू व्हेरी मच सर. थँक्यू.
Sir, one more question in chat box.
आवाज येत नाहीये.
Semi-structured.
आवाज थोडा ब्रेक होतोय.
Sir, one question is, hello.
आवाज ब्रेक होतोय. हा, आता येतोय क्लिअर, बोला.
मुळात कसं प्रश्न याच्यामध्ये संगीत नसावे आणि प्रश्नाचं संगीत जास्त आले तर उत्तर पण त्या स्वरूपात येतात ना.
नाही, म्हणून म्हटलं ना, प्रश्न क्लिअर असावा की तुम्हाला एक्सपेक्टेड काय आहे त्या प्रश्नातनं, त्या रिसर्चरला माहिती असावं.
मॅडमचा जो प्रश्न होता ना, मॅडमचा प्रश्न होता ना त्या चित्रावर, तेच तुम्ही जर प्रश्न विचारताना संगीत तयार केली तर
कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी नको आपल्या विचारामध्ये.
सर, एक प्रश्न आलेला आहे, व्हॉट इज सेमी स्ट्रक्चर्ड इंटरव्ह्यू शेड्यूल?
सेमी स्ट्रक्चर्ड मध्ये आता वेगवेगळ्या पुस्तकं वाचले की वेगवेगळे शब्द भेटतात आपल्याला. म्हणजे काही प्रश्न आपण ठेवलेत त्याच्यामध्ये, म्हणजे अगोदरपासून ठरवलेलं की एवढे प्रश्न आपण विचारणारच, पण असं आपण कंपल्सरी नाही करणार की एवढेच विचारायचे. त्याच्यापेक्षा वेगळे जरी आले तर त्यांची पण आपण नोटिंग करून घेतो आणि तो इंटरव्ह्यू पूर्ण करतो. वेळेवरती आपल्याला कळलं की नाही हे विचारणं गरजेचं होतं, तेही आपण माहिती घेऊन घेतो आणि सर्व माहितीचा वापर आपल्या स्टडीमध्ये करतो, तेव्हा वी कन्सिडर इट ॲज अ सेमी स्ट्रक्चर्ड.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable and informative session on research tools and data collection. Now, I would like to call Professor Vijay Gawande sir to present vote of thanks to Dr. B.T. Lavani sir and Dr. Keshav Walke sir.
हेलो,
विजय गावंडे सर.
हाँ, आवाज आता है?
हो सर.
हाँ, ठीक है. सभी को नमस्कार. हमारे श्री सरस्वती समाज कार्य महाविद्यालय द्वारा आयोजित 6 दिन के इस वेबिनार के लिए आज हमारे बीच प्रोफेसर लवानी सर और डॉक्टर वाड़के सर उपस्थित हुए, जिन्होंने रिसर्च के बारे में बहुत ही सटीक और महत्वपूर्ण जानकारी हमें दी और सभी प्रतिभागियों को लाभान्वित किया. सम्मानीय प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर B.T. लावानी जी, जिन्होंने अपने रिसेंट ट्रेंड्स इन सोशल रिसर्च एंड रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी इस टॉपिक पर विस्तृत और सटीक जानकारी दी, जिसमें उन्होंने पार्टिकुलर मेथड्स और टेक्निक, रिसेंट ट्रेंड्स क्या है और रिसर्च मेथड जैसे एक्सप्लोरेटरी, कंस्ट्रक्टिव और एम्पिरिटिकल रिसर्च क्या है और क्वांटिटेटिव और क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च एंड ऑल्सो ऑल टॉपिक्स रिलेटेड टू रिसर्च के बारे में महत्वपूर्ण और यूजफुल जानकारी दी. मैं महाविद्यालय और सभी प्रतिभागियों की ओर से आपका शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद लवानी सर. और आज के वेबिनार के दूसरे चरण में हमारे सम्मानीय डॉक्टर केशव जी वाड़के सर, इन्होंने अपने टॉपिक रिसर्च टूल्स एंड कलेक्शन में फैक्चुअल एंड ओपिनियन काइंड्स ऑफ डेटा एंड collecting data from primary and secondary source, data measurement and its level, methods of data collection like interview, observation, questionnaire or schedule, its type of all aspect of data collection. इस बारे में अभ्यर्थियों को और प्रतिभागियों को लाभान्वित किया। मैं वाल्के सर का धन्यवाद अदा करता हूँ। वैसे हमारे वाल्के सर तो ज्ञान का एक भंडार है। मैं इनका 2007 साल का एक का विद्यार्थी हूँ। 2007 का एक विद्यार्थी हूँ मैं सर आपका। मेरा सौभाग्य है कि आज इस वेबिनार के माध्यम से अपने गुरु को धन्यवाद देने का एक मौका मुझे प्राप्त हुआ।
थैंक यू।
हाँ, तो मैं महाविद्यालय की ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम और सभी अभ्यर्थियों की ओर से आपको धन्यवाद देता हूँ। थैंक यू वाल्के सर।
ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम को धन्यवाद, स्पेशल कॉलेज को ऐसा सेमिनार ऑर्गेनाइज करने के लिए थैंक यू।
Thanks to all once again. Thanks to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Participants. हाँ सर बोला.
हॅलो.
गोरपे सर. बोला.
नाही वाडके सरांना
बोला ना.
सर गेले का?
नाही आहे बोला.
सर माझा एक फुलिश प्रश्न आहे.
हा बोला.
मूर्ख प्रश्न ज्याला म्हणतात. सर फॅक्ट आणि डेटा मला अजून कळाला नाही. सर सर
फॅक्ट आणि डेटा
मला फॅक्ट आणि डेटा याच्यात काय फरक आहे मला अजून कळाला नाही सर प्लीज.
बोथ आर नथिंग बट इन्फॉर्मेशन.
क्वेश्चन म्हणलं.
बोथ आर नथिंग बट इन्फॉर्मेशन. शब्दप्रयोग आपण वेगळा करतो. जसं आता बघा, मी मगाशी जसं म्हटलं ना, आता मी तुम्हाला दाखवतो. हा काय आहे? हे मी काय हलवतो हे काय? फोन आहे ना. दॅट इज द फॅक्ट. फॅक्ट आहे ना. आता जर तुम्हाला प्रश्न विचारला की हा कसा आहे, तर ते काय होऊन जाणार? ओपिनियन. तर फॅक्ट पण आणि ओपिनियन बोथ आर डेटा.
सर मी आता म्हणजे अजून पण कन्फ्युजन. थँक्यू सर.
फॅक्ट and opinion both are data. So fact it is a part of data now. Information and fact both.
Okay sir.
Only the role can be changed according to the need.
Yes. नीड के बेस पे बदलना चाहिए. और वो बोलते ना, जरूरत ही सबकी जननी है, वैसे है वो.
बराबर है सर.
हेलो मिलते हैं.
Thank you. Nice, wonderful session.
Thank you.
देशमुख सर.
फीडबॅक तुम्हाला एक 15-20 मिनिटं मिळून जाईल ना.
Yes sir.
ओके.